Chances are you might have heard about AMD and their Ryzen CPUs by now and their great performance compared to Intel, but did you know that in the month of November, Mindfactory has managed to sell over 7 times more chips from AMD than compared to Intel? If not, then this is definitely what you're going to be learning more about today. And if you're new on my channel, then hi, my name's Alex and I run a channel called The Red Elk where I happen to cover a lot of tech and gaming news. So if you're interested in keeping yourself up to date with that, then definitely hit that subscribe button. Now, for those of you who have no clue what Mindfactory is, let me tell you that this is pretty much the one-stop shop here in Germany if you want to get yourself some new tech, because they also have low prices and they're available most of the time. But we're of course not going to be talking about that. Instead, we're going to be talking about how many AMD chips they've managed to sell. But most likely, you're most interested to hear that the 3700X has managed to generate the most revenue in the past month for them, closely followed by the Epic 3600 and 3600 XT. Now, I'm of course not calling those the Epic CPUs, they're still Ryzen, but they're pretty epic, knowing that most of you who are watching this video might happen to have an AMD CPU in their system, and this might actually be the 3600 or the 3600X or XT, one of those variants, you know. And if you do, then do make sure to leave me a comment because I'd definitely be interested in that. Either way, believe it or not, the 5600X is also not far ahead in terms of revenue, and it sure looks like AMD has been crowned here in Germany, where 8 out of 10 people who shopped at Mindfactory decided to go with Team Red. And as I was saying before, chances are you might actually have an AMD system right now. And if you do, including the CPU and GPU, then do make sure to leave me a comment because I'd definitely be interested, because I'm still rocking an 8700K and I of course see no reason at this point to upgrade, but I might actually be upgrading to Ryzen next time around unless Intel comes out with something very interesting. And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about this time around, because the upcoming Intel Core Rocket Lake S CPU has been leaked in Geekbench, and we have some things to say about that, but we unfortunately have no clue what the model number is. But this 8-core 16-thread CPU locked at 5 GHz is supposedly going to go head-to-head against the Ryzen 5800X and 5900X, because we've seen in single thread scenarios it might be able to do that, but this is of course only Geekbench results, so take that with a grain of salt. However, in multi-threaded scenarios, Intel is still lacking AMD's might. However, if all you care about is gaming and you have a decent cooler that can cool this furnace of a CPU and of course keep it at some low temperatures or acceptable temperatures, let's say, then you might still be interested in it, because Intel is also bringing some new goodies to it, including PCIe Gen 4, finally, and some other things like new media encoders. And speaking of goodies coming to Intel's processors, then let's talk about the Z490 chipset, which if you have an ASUS motherboard, you might actually be able to take advantage of SAM or BAR. SAM is of course AMD's smart access memory, but in Windows it's called BAR pretty much. If you want to learn more about it, then I'm of course going to link a video from Gamers Nexus if you want to learn more about it. In some cases we're seeing a 20% performance uplift, but I still like what ASUS has showed us a couple of days ago with their entire 13.37% performance uplift in certain scenarios. And of course that's only for the elitist of gamers. I see what you did there, ASUS. And of course if you care about the juiciest frames and frame rates, then you might actually be excited about this. And something you might actually be very excited about is Cyberpunk 2077. And trust me, this game is coming out in less than a week and it feels surreal to even think about it. I've talked about it in yesterday's video episode and I see myself talking more about it in the coming days, so definitely get subscribed if you want to see more coverage of Cyberpunk 2077, but don't expect to see some leaks from me, or maybe, I don't know. No, definitely don't do that, and completely don't be complete doofus if you are going to share leaks about this game early, because there might be a slight chance that you have managed to get your hands on Cyberpunk 2077 already, because it sure seems like that in the United States. Apparently BestBuy has sent out copies of the game already to people, and some people using their non-cybernetic arms and hands and non-cybernetic mouths, they've been pretty stupid to share some leaks online, and definitely don't be one of those people that ruin all of those things for people, because you know the internet is dark and full of terrors. I know, Game of Thrones reference. Either way, main point is don't share leaks about this game, because it's going to come out really soon and you're going to ruin it for pretty much everyone if you're going to do that. Either way, what I like to tell you is that starting December 10th, Cyberpunk is going to be available for everyone who purchases it from Steam, Good Old Games, and all those platforms. And the developers at CD Projekt Red have said that you are free to stream this game, and they would love you to do that because, of course, it's 2020. So what better things you might have to do? Either way, this brings us to the end of this episode as well. Like I was saying, if you'd like to see more coverage about Cyberpunk 2077, tech, gaming, and all of those things, then definitely get subscribed. And do make sure to check all of the articles in the video description as well. They're going to be linked over there as well. And if you don't have anything else to do, then do make sure to check out all of my other content that I do around here. Either way, my battery is running really low right now. I'm seeing it blinking red, and this might cut abruptly. Either way, this has been Alex with the Red Elk. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, I recorded this episode 2 times already because my microphone was not working. Yay.